Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the SeanDavieWay show. Absolutely. Hold on. Is this it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I do want to talk about this. Okay, boom. I think that's it. I love you all. Hello, 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 hello. Now I know I'm a little piece of late. Just a little piece. Okay. 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 But I am here and I am queer. Okay. Can you all hear me? Can you all see me? Whatever. Tip West! Hi, Tip West. I love you. I love you, bestie. I love you, bestie. Tip West. Or do things like this? Tip West. Which one do you want? Do you want this one? Or do you want like this one, girl? Which one do you want? I'll do whatever for you. I'll do whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want. Um, Coco says, we see a pretty face. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hi, Tanisha. Hi, Diva. Baby Shay. Hi. Coco, Diva, DL Gordon, Dayla. Hey, Dayla. Dayla, that's my baby. Kate, Michelle B, Lysandra, moderator, moderator. Tip West, that does not help. Oh, you show me how to do it. Whatever. I love you. I love you. I love you. Yes. Thank you, Dayla, for the super sticker. I deserve. Yes. I deserve. I'm gonna go where? I'm gonna go where? I'm gonna go. Ooh, ooh. But Sean, what is going on today? Get it together. Get it together. I'm gonna go. There we go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go where? I'm gonna go. Yeah, yeah. I like talking. Yeah. I'm gonna go. Yeah, yeah. Wait, I was kind of trying it. I was kind of trying to. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Yeah, yeah. There we go. I deserve, yes, everything that y'all be sending to me. Yes, I earned it. I earned it. I'm here, flip. So y'all, I love y'all. I love y'all. I miss you. I miss you. I really wanna kiss you, but I can't. Okay, that's just what that word. Hi, Medusa and Virgo and CD and One of a Kind and Melody's Broom and Falonda. Am I saying that right? Kimberditz. Hi, boo. Hi, boo. Kimberditz. Uh-uh. Talk about some I stay off key. Hold on, because I was hold on. Yeah, I was Kimberditz. You can't hate your whole life, Kimberditz. This is gonna be a part of your life to where you're gonna have to like give that up, you know, and just love me, and just love me. Kimberditz always be trying it. I'm like Kimberditz. So yes, hello everyone. I love you guys. So y'all, ooh, that was a little juicy. A little juicy. So y'all, oh my God. Cassie got cross-examined today by Diddy's lawyers and it was trash. I said, oh, this is stupid. I said, oh yeah, this is dumb. I said, hi, Healing Daily. Hi, mwah. Hi. We're gonna talk about Shoot a Shot in the morning when we come live on YouTube, and we're gonna talk about Shoot a Shot. So yeah, we have some updates and all of that good stuff. And oh my girl, there may be a little drama. There may be a little drama. You never know. You never know. So I'm here, flip. So and my girl. You never know. But we'll talk about that in the morning. So yes, but shout out to Shoot Your Shot. Shout out to Mama Tachi. Shout out to Derek. And oh my God, shout out to Derek. Yes, shout out to Derek. Yeah, so we be talking about Derek tomorrow. Tomorrow we're talking about Derek tomorrow. Derek. So we'll talk about him, Mr. Craner. We'll talk about him tomorrow. And my girl Tasha. and my girl Tasha. A period. So I will talk about that in the morning. And so I'm excited to talk about that. And I'm like, girl, so I had to stir up a little mess first because it's gonna be messy. Like it's because I'm messy, duh. So yeah, duh. So yes, Derek duh. Derek duh. And that's on period. Tip West, don't talk about no look, Tip West, look, incite the riot, Tip West. Incite the riot. Be like, ooh, Sean, yes. I can't wait. Incite the riot. Oh my God. Incite the riot. So yes, so y'all, Diddy's lawyers is trash. All 19 of them. All 19 of them. I said, so you got 52 people over here. It's crowded. And I'm a girl. 15 people inside of a sedan. Because that's what it's given on his side of the courtroom. Correct. And yes, they were trash. The cross examination was trash. Now they got part two tomorrow. Okay. Now they get to finish their cross examination tomorrow. But the cross examination that started today was trash. Was trash. And I'm gonna tell you why, because I'm poking all type of holes up in what they were saying and what that were. Because Diddy old ass should have been mad. There was so much mad. I said, Diddy, why they keep drawing you looking like a Papa Smurf? Oh my word. I said, why they keep drawing me? He looked like Peter. Peter, Cynthia ex Peter. I said, oh my God, is you that stressed out? I know they say stress give grace, but damn girl. I was like, oh my God. Now you in there really looking like somebody grandpa. I'm not your daddy, I'm your grandpa. I'm like, oh my word. And then I keep seeing everybody talking about the wrong daughters. Okay. Now y'all talking about the Combs twins, they big head ass. And the other girl, the one that wasn't allowed to be around until everybody was grown, damn near. Okay. Until after Kim Porter passed away. And then all of a sudden, the older girl, the one that's around the twins age is the infidelity baby girl. Gave. Yeah, Dayla, I don't care what her name is. I don't like none of them. I don't care what her name is. The other baby, the infidelity baby, that one. The mistake, the oops, correct. And I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. Diddy said that because Kim didn't let that girl around her babies, around her daughter. And she said, "Look, don't you bring that mistake over here. Don't you bring that oops over here. Play with me if you want to. You think I jug that a screwdriver in you, that corkscrew? You think I put that? Play with me if you want to. Okay." So the girl didn't know the girls until after the girl had passed away, basically. And I'm right. So y'all, people keep saying that oh, they feel so bad for the Combs twins, bobblehead ass. And because I checked, they grown. That they feel bad for them. And the girl, the one more chance girl, the oops, the less it in, the shoulda pulled eye that was supposed to be bust on the back or on the chest. Yay, that baby, that one. Okay, because I don't like nobody that's around it except for Quincy. All right, we have a love-hate relationship. Okay, but y'all, so everybody saying they feel sorry for them. I'm like, y'all talking about the wrong child because where the fuck is baby love? Where, I'm getting irritated. I'm getting irritated. She is behind a lot of this stuff. She hid the pizza boxes. Correct. She hid the pizza boxes. Nah. So I'm like, where is she? Where is she? She is a criminal. Baby Love is a criminal. Let me show y'all her. Because for some reason, let me show y'all, because y'all don't think y'all know who I'm talking about. Moana is a crook. Is a crook. She absolutely is. Let me pull her up. Ooh, let me pull her up. Ooh, let me pull her up. She is a criminal. She is a criminal with a sippy cup. She is. She is. She is. She is. She is. This right here is the face of a crook. This is a crook. She evil. She evil. It's on this baby. No, she needs to go to jail. She absolutely does. Okay? She should be up there on the stand. She absolutely should. Correct. Correct. A criminal with a certificate. She needs to go to jail. Bring her to justice. I'm getting sick of this. Oh, police hit the line. Ain't no such a cutie pie heaven. That's how she gets you. That's how she gets you. It's hard to arrest this, but get her. Get her. Nah. Correct. Correct. Fun size felon is what that word. She needs to go down. Okay, she stole that bracelet. She stole that. Correct. Y'all talk about cute. We didn't say she was ugly. It's not about that. Oh my God, this is why she gonna go free. And this is why she gonna go free. People like y'all. People like y'all, and that is a shame. That is a shame. That is a shame. She needs to be apprehended. Nah. All the children doesn't have something to do with this. And y'all talk about some, oh, it's a shame that all of that stuff being said in front of the grills and all of that. They know what's going on. They know what's going on. And they need to be arrested as well. I'm like, while the Coleman twins, the chances they can't try to put them in cuffs. Christian and Justin. Now, Quincy is innocent as of now because he is fine. Okay? Lord, I couldn't imagine what they'd do to my baby. They put my baby Quincy behind bars, Lord. Oh my God. He have a mop on his head and some Kool-Aid on his lips before lockdown. I'm ready to train on my baby. No, I love him. Now he too cute to be up in jail. Okay. But Justin will fit right in. Justin will fit right in. Christian, you too. You too. Y'all fit right on in. Right on in. Correct. 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 But Quincy, no. Oh my God, no. He'd be studied bitch immediately. Like, now they're court, Justin and Christian. But Quincy, they'd be passing him around like a cigarette. Not my man. Not my baby. Ooh, not my Quincy. Ooh, not my cute. Quincy, no. So as of now, he is innocent and ain't nobody said his name and they bet not. Okay? Now that's what I wrote. So I don't like none of his churn. Okay? And they ain't none but a few months younger than Cassie was when he was doing all this shit to Cassie. So what is the problem? He wasn't doing this to no 25-year-old. And then it went on about yonder. No, she was 19. Ain't that how old them bobblehead hoes is? Yeah. So you have to be careful what you do. Because they was around the same age. Literally. So what's the problem? Hello? What is the issue? I just don't see what the problem is. I'm like, what is the problem? We don't. And if you're gonna be mad at anybody, be mad at Diddy. Didn't nobody tell him to be no baby or freak? Yeah, that's on him. Literally giving a new meaning to take that, take that. Gross. So yeah. So they ain't gonna do it. We don't care that they gotta hear a soul. He needs to go to jail. They don't want to hear that, but we gonna say it. They don't want to hear that neither. So, girl, please. I was like, oh yeah, y'all got trying to. We don't care how they feel. We care about the victims. They not that. They not that. Go get a job. Go work. Go to school. Ain't you supposed to be at school? How many breaks y'all get? How many spring breaks y'all get, Chance, girl? Go to school. Go to class. You all at the hearing trying to stay in the wheel. Yeah, You and the Combs twins. Y'all trying to still stay in the wheel. Because baby love, you're out. Baby love, you're out. You abandoned him, girl. You ain't talked to this man since you sung happy birthday to him. Off key. You're cut off. Okay, you ain't getting nothing but some slippers and toothpaste and toothbrushes and stuff. That's it. Correct, Scorpion Vibes. I missed whole finals week. I'm like, Chance, why are you here? Call the twins. Why is y'all here? We not giving them no sympathy. Fuck y'all. I'll say it. Like if one nobody else, I'll say it. Oh yeah, fuck all y'all. Correct. Mm-hmm. All the way down to Baby Love. Oh well. Baby Love. Oh, please. Um Wow. Yeah, I don't like none of y'all. I hate all his churn. Quincy don't belong to him. He looked too good. That's why he looked like that. Okay? Because it ain't his daddy. Diddy couldn't do that if he wanted to. Diddy couldn't make a Quincy if he wanted to. If it felt like it. If he aimed for it. No. No. Diddy done been a lot of things, but cute ain't never been one of them. He looked atable. It's just like, yeah, there he is. Hey, Diddy, move, nigga. Move, hey, hey. So it's just like, hey, move. Ugh. So it's like, ooh, girl, that go Diddy. Besides the money, I mean, because money makes us come. Like what money. Money. I get it, but like other than that, you're not getting aroused by what? By what? Superhead doesn't let us know everything we need to know. He's average. Why you think that he's such a voyeur? Why he likes to see other? He likes to see big pain go inside of women and men. He likes to see that because he can't do it. Because he can't do it. Because I can do it. I can do it. Correct. 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 Y'all is welcome. Y'all is welcome. So it's like I can do it. So I don't need to go get anybody to do what the fuck I can do. I'm like, that's weird. That's gay. It's like big gay. Like I ain't never been that gay. I'm like, yeah, that's like hella gay. Like you're like borderline maggot right now, because that's hella gay. Hella gay. And then you want to rub the. I said, you told that girl to come in there and do that. That belonged to her. She worked hard for that nut. So you mean to tell me that girl sat up for 3 days and finally got him to ejaculate, and then you want it? You want her to bring to you? After that poor thing sitting over there trying to disassociate. Come here. Ew. You're such a thief. Like you steal everything, even sperm. That is a shame. Oh my God. Why didn't you let her have it? I'm sure she wanted to get off of her as soon as possible. But you like, no, bring it here. Why? For what? What do you want it for? Oh my goodness. Because you could have laid over here and did all this shit. No, I'm keeping it. That's how I would have been. Correct. Oh no, I'm keeping this. So it's my jaws and shit is. Oh yeah, no, you got no. Nah. No, I'm keeping this. You got your nerve. Talking about some bringing in there to you. I wish I would. I wish I would. Girl, please. So I'm like, you just take everything. Oh my God. You're annoying and gross. Got your damn nerve. Although you done sat in here and they just had to pull away with the poor girl. Bring it to me. What is that? Bring it to you. Very gay. Very gay. Correct. That's how you know that poor thing was going through on top of something. That's gay as hell. Talking about some bring you. I wish the bring it to you for what? Besides, you just want to prove to see that it's on me. If you touch it, you single. What you bet? What you bet? Your gay ass can touch it if you want to. Touch it at all. She already poor thing already had to come there and explain the pain sizes and all the fun. I'm like, what? Got your goddamn nerve. So yo, the cross examination to me was stupid. And the reason why I say that it was stupid is because the whole point of them doing what they was doing with, they're the defense, so the defense got to do their job. They got a job to do. Okay, of course, people are gonna look at them and be like, "Oh, why are you, like victim shaming, basically?" And then they're not. They just have a job to do, and their job is to, try to convince these jurors that Diddy is innocent. That this was not what they're making it out to be. This was all consensual. The drugs, the DRUG, all of that, the freak offs, the traveling, and all of that stuff was consensual. Okay, it was nobody being forced to do Nathan. Okay, it's what the defense team was basically trying to push. Okay, please hit the like. Please hit the like. Over 700 people in the building, 240 likes. Thank you to everybody that has hit the like thus far. Really appreciate it. You can do that. That would be great. I worked with it, and they showed the jurors messages. I thought that's a big takeaway, so we're definitely going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about her being jealous of her because she was definitely surprised. She was jealous of women, also jealous that she was not allowed to have a relationship with Diddy's kids, which is very surprising because she was there for 10 years, 10, damn near 11 years, and she was not allowed to really be involved with any of the children. So I'm like, girl, shut your mouth and keep on talking. Shut your mouth and keep on talking. So it does seem that I'm not going to say that there was beef, but I do think that it started off that way, and I think it ended another way. I think they started off probably not necessarily caring for one another, and then as time progressed, I think that their relationship kind of got a little better. Whether it was Cassie like leaving him or trying not to be with him no more, when I um can y'all see me? Sorry, I was getting a call. Sorry. Can y'all see me and hear me? Okay, sorry. I was just gonna keep getting called. So I'm like, just let me answer really quick. Okay, so I'm back. I'm back. Am I? Am I back? Okay. I hope I'm back. I'm okay. Y'all saying yes. Perfect. So there was definitely like a lot going on with that whole Kim Porter situation. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and because we've had our own thoughts on how Cassie and Kim Porter felt about each other, but we finally got to hear from her, and how she actually felt about Cassie and whatnot. And I thought that was very interesting because kind of blew me away. I was like, wow, like because I just knew she had some relationship with the kids. I mean, she was there, she lived there 10 years. So you what barely saw the kids or wasn't not allowed around. I'm like, that's crazy work. So I don't know, that's a lot. So we're gonna get into that, but let's start off with this. So Cassie Ventura faces cross-examination from Sean Diddy Combs' legal team today in his federal criminal trial. Ventura, a former girlfriend of Combs, one of his accusers, has been on the stand since Tuesday afternoon. The prosecution's star witness testified about the beginning of the relationship and her participation in freak-offs, in which is what Combs called the ring-fueled SCX performances he orchestrated. In court, the jury saw affectionate messages between Ventura and Combs, but also text that showed Ventura's frustrations and hesitancies. Combs has pleaded not guilty, and we know about that. We don't care. Moving right along. Okay, so some we don't care about that either. We don't care about that either. Okay, so some of the key points that we're going to talk about: the defense strategy, the other relationships, the drug use, because Cassie talked a lot about that. So we're gonna talk about that, and the testimony timing. So we're gonna talk about that too. Okay, am I back, y'all? Am I back? Y'all saying I am. Just want to make sure we're good. We're good. Are we good? I want to just make sure we're good real quick. People call them messing up the flow of my show. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. So let me pull this up. Let's get into the illicit messages first. We'll get into that. Okay. Prosecutors say he exploited his status as a power music executive. Ho. You got your damn nerve. Prosecutors say, my God. Y'all want to be seen so bad. My goodness. Okay. Prosecutors say he exploited his status as a powerful music executive to vitally force Cassie and other women into these marathon encounters as SEX workers called freak-offs, which sometimes lasted days. Combs insists that all the SEX was consensual, so that was definitely a big part of the defense strategy today to make it to that is what they were trying to prove today. And having her read these text messages aloud was one of the reasons that, you know, one of the things that they were trying to prove. You can tell based just off of the messages of her getting a diddler blew up car or something is correct. She also put those in her lawsuit as well of Diddy blowing up Kid Cudi's car when he found out that is it lagging? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be lagging. Is it lagging? When Diddy found out about Kid Cudi and her being together, he blew up the car. It's lagging. Hold on. How are we now? Is it still lagging? It shouldn't be lagging. Um, is it still lagging? Or was it? Is it still lagging? A little lagging, but can hear you. No, it don't need to be lagging at all. It stopped. Okay, it stopped. Okay. No lagging here. Sounds better. No, that's better. That's better. A little better, but okay. Okay. Okay, it's better now. Okay, it's not lagging anymore. It stopped. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. That's why I hate when people call. It's pixelated a little. Is it still pixelated? Is it still pixelated? Because no, I'm gonna fix it. Okay, y'all saying nope, it's clear. Nope, it's clear. You good? Okay. Okay. So who's on Androids? Who's on Androids? Because that could be it too. That could be it too. Who on Android? Yeah, because I always try to make this my fault. Who blame it on that? I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't talking to you. Brittany, I'm not talking to you. Stop. 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 Tina, I wasn't talking to you either. Oh my God. I'm talking to the droids. Okay. 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 So the Boost Mobile, raise your hand. Boost. Okay. Okay. Tiffany, I'm not talking to you. Oh my God. That is sad. That is sad. That is really sad that y'all cannot follow direction. Ro, I'm not talking to God. So back into the content. So prosecutors say he exploited his status as a powerful music executive to violently force Cassie and other women into these marathon encounters with SCX workers called break-offs, which sometimes lasted days. Combs insists all of the SCX was consensual. So, okay, that's the defense's big plan, is to make it seem as if, to poke all of the holes in the world in her story to the jurors, and for the jurors to think like, oh, this was just a boyfriend and girlfriend having a bunch of consensual SCX. And then, she decided that at one point that she wanted to, I guess, sue him because in her mind, some of it wasn't consensual. So just ways to play with the jury and the jury's mind so that they're not basically dragging and holding on to Cassie's testimony because it was powerful. Like it was a really good testimony that she had, and it helps the prosecution's case a lot. This is why she is the star witness. The hotel video, all of that really helps prosecution. So I think that's why they came out right out the gate with Cassie. And her being pregnant too, wanting to probably hurry up and get it over. Well, not hurry up and get it over with, but make sure that she's available to do it before she goes and has the baby, and then kind of won't be able to do it. So they good strategy to get her in and out because they knew it's going to take a while with her because she's again the star witness. So with the star witness, you're gonna be there a while. You are going to be there a while. Again, she still has court again tomorrow with the finishing. I'm not gonna say finishing the cross examination because they could always go into Monday. It could. So she could be there Monday too. Yeah, you usually got to set aside a good 2 weeks if you're going to be like a witness like in Cassie's caliber. They're going to need you because they're going to have a lot of questions. A lot of things are going to be challenged. And they're going to want to take their time. Like the prosecution took their time. They took days to make sure. Oh, it is, girl. Is it still buffering? Or are we good? Let me know. Let me know. Is this still buffering or pixelated? Or can y'all hear me? Like, let me know like right away because I can fix it. So yeah, I think that it is a lot. No, it's not buffering. We good. We good. Oh, okay. Okay, so she's still in cable. So she's still in the neighbor cable. Are you still in the neighbor's cable, baby? Ooh, girl. I see. I will be clear on your cable, not on apartment fours, girl. And you in apartment two. Okay. Sheila said, I'm extra clear. Sheila said, if you had a boogie in your nose, I could see it, Sean. So yeah, so y'all, I think that it could definitely take some more time. But I'll say maybe Monday. I don't know. It's possible that the defense could be done with her tomorrow, but I doubt it because she is a star witness. So they're going to want to try to dismantle her testimony as much as they can. So it's going to take some time to do so because today to me was weak. And I'm going to tell you why it was weak right as we get into these messages. So Combs insisted, sorry. He is also accused of using his entourage and employees to facilitate illegal activities, including prostitution, related transportation, and coercion, which is a key element of the federal charges. Messages between Combs and Cassie, both romantic and lurid, were the focus of the fourth day of testimony in the Manhattan courtroom. Defense attorney Anna Estavo read what Combs wrote while Cassie recited her own messages about what she wanted to do during the freak offs. Cassie's testimony will resume Friday. So let's get into these messages because gross. While Cassie's legal name is Cassandra Ventura, has said she felt compelled to participate in to keep Combs happy, Estavo pointed to messages exchanges where Cassie appeared excited about the sexual encounter and raised the idea of having one her own. Yeah. In August 20, in August 20th, 09, Combs asked when she wanted to have the next encounter, when she wanted the next encounter to be. And she replied, I'm always ready to freak off. 2 days later, Cassie sent an explicit message and he replied in eager anticipation. She responded, me too. I just want it to be uncontrollable. Okay, here's the thing. Now, I get that the defense wanted Cassie to read her messages aloud in her own words so that the jury could hear that she was stating that she wanted to do a freak off, that she loved to do them, and she couldn't wait for the next one. She just wanted to be uncontrollable, and whatnot. Okay. Here's the issue with that, because to the defense, I'm sure they're thinking that, oh, this is going to put a nail in the coffin when it comes to the majority of her testimony about these being non-consensual, or her being forced to do it, or he's compelling her to do so, or coercing her into doing it. The issue that I feel come in there with where the jury is not necessarily going to take these as her loving all of them, and whatnot, because she admitted that at the beginning, when they first started doing them, she started doing them to appease her man. Cassie did not get on the stand at one point in time and said she never ever wanted to do a freak off, that every single freak off that ever happened between her and Diddy was forced. She never had any power over any of the freaks. She never said that. She admitted that she wanted to participate in the beginning. She wanted to participate in that. And not only that, when Diddy would have her look for the escorts, which is not uncommon, he does it with everyone. Take note from Lil Rod's lawsuit. He said it the same thing, that he and a counterpart, which was usually security, would go to these little bunny ranches and whatnot, these illegal bunny ranches, escort companies in Florida, and they would pick up girls. And when Diddy would tell them to go get girls so they can come back and do freak off, so he can watch them and direct them, you know, have SEX with these random females and whatnot, that he would do the same thing. He would have them do it, so that, and that's one of the oldest books in the oldest tricks in the book, is just so that you are not connected to these people. You're not connected to it. So these people can't say, because in the states that Diddy was doing a lot of this stuff, but especially prostitution and escorting, is in states to where it is illegal. He could have just went to Vegas and did all of this, and whatnot. It literally in Vegas, it's legal there. So he could have got a really nice home in a part of the state to where it is legal to do so. I believe the whole state of Nevada maybe, but able to do so, and just had a big freak off ranch, out there, and nobody could really say anything. Like what could people really say, as long as no one is being R-worded or forced to do anything, or underage people being there. As long as none of that stuff's going down, he could have a big freak ranch. Like Candy had a basement, all that stuff, whatever. I mean, it's not too much a person can say about that, in my opinion. You know, well, I mean, I would understand, but it's not trafficking and all of that if it's where it's legal. That it's not legal where he was doing it, right? So I feel like, how is that a smart defense to try to start off with, to try to make her read off these messages that are implementing something that she already admitted? She admitted that she that she didn't mind it in the beginning, to appease him. If this is what's going to make him happy, then I'm going to do it. So is this the time? Because I feel like it's important for the to display that information, to display that this was not near, which it was, because it said one of the first mentions them in August 2009. That's around the time they got together, Diddy and Cassie. That's the time they first got together. She admitted that when it first started going on, when he first approached her with it, that she agreed to do so. Like, I don't see how that's smart. I don't see how that's a smart defense tactic. I think they should have used that later on. I wouldn't have pulled that out immediately. I wouldn't have done that. I would have built up a strong defense for Diddy, like the majority of the relationship, or the full relationship, that you completely corroborated and were okay with doing these freak offs, to where you would even leave, Diddy's not care, but leave Diddy's home and go be with other people and be in other relationships and stuff, but you were still continuing the freak off, because to you said it seemed like a job. Well, nobody's forced to work. Nobody's forced to do that. McDonald's can't force you to go in. YouTube can't force me to go live. Like they can't do that. So if I'm looking at something as a job, if I'm looking at this something as my job, then it's my decision how consistent I'm gonna be, how good I'm gonna be in my job, and I'm consenting to do my job. So if Cassie was looking at it like a job, I feel like the defense should have prepared it more so like that, and started off that way, to poke in her story that she's trying to make this look like that the majority that for years basically this was happening against her will. That's what they should be because what's what really ruins their defense completely is the hotel tape. The hotel video ruins their defense when it comes to Cassie. Now, when it comes to the other victims and whatnot that are testifying against him, that's different. But when it comes to Cassie, that tape destroys Diddy in court. It destroys him because we have a complete visual of Cassie being the victim. She is the victim in this situation, in this scenario, all around. There's a freak off happening when Cassie left. She was being pummeled and stumped and kicked and vases and things thrown at her because she was trying to leave the freak off. So that gives motive right there to where she didn't have a choice. She wanted to do these freak offs or not. So where's your motive of trying to prove anything other? Because you're fucked. At the end, when it comes to Cassie, you're screwed. There is no real strong defense that you can have for Diddy when it comes to Cassie when he's already admitted on tape that he did these things to her. He admitted it. Mm-hmm. And then trying to use him being a drug addict and these mood swings and whatnot contributed to him doing drugs to why he was responding and physically harming her and whatnot. No, that doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. It's not a good theory. You don't get off for doing what you did to someone, RICO charges, because you were going through something. You were abusing drugs. So we're gonna let you off. We're gonna give you another shot. As long as you stay clean, we don't ever have to worry about you running another criminal enterprise, because that's what this is. Correct. Uh-huh. So yeah. Yes, I know what they are, and he's being charged with racketeering. That's the main thing that he's being charged with, and SCX trafficking. Those are his charges. He's not on trial for DV or anything like that. Yeah, I know exactly what they are. And I also know that with that being said, the defense that his team is building against Cassie and trying to make it seem that the freak offs were all of the freak offs that she did or any sexual encounter they had was consensual is out the door when they have on video him beating her into submission and dragging her back to a sexual encounter. The same encounters that his team pushing were consensual. How? How? How can you get up there and say, as a defense attorney, all of the encounters were consensual, but then the prosecution already showed a 15-minute video. That video was 15 minutes long. You hurt and harmed that girl for 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes. Okay? And held her against her will. Because that's kidnapping charges right there. That's what I'm saying. He's not getting charged. He's getting let off with a lot. A lot. Okay? Because that's keeping somebody against their will. That's abduction, is what he did to her. You cannot force her to stay anywhere, ever. When somebody wants to leave, you let them go. They go through the door. You do not get to force them there and say, because this is my girl. No, because this is my girl. So, and I said she can't go nowhere. What? No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Not at all. Not at all. Like, yeah, so to me, the defense was weak. Like, this is a weak defense. It really is. When there's holes you're not making it better at this point. Like, y'all supposed to be making it more so look like basically a money hungry girl that that was bitter and jealous of his lifestyle and the lifestyle that she wanted. Although she left him, she got married, all of that stuff. So, I mean, you can't be how jealous and bitter can you be? When she got with Alex, she was not continuing the freak offs. When she married Alex, she did not continue to freak off. Like she didn't do that. So she could have been that jealous. I mean, yeah, for like I feel like she was just living her life. Um, but yeah, so to me, it's weak that this does prove anything when she's already admitted these things. If Cassie got on that stand and she said that she never okayed any freak off, that she never was a willing participant on it, then yes, this would be crucial. This would be like, but you said that you didn't, want to participate at all. She didn't say that. So what is this debunking within this moment? What hole is this poking when she said that she agreed? I don't understand that. I don't get that. It's just like, why do he have all of these lawyers? Why do he have all of these? This what they came to do? This what they came to do? Because starting off, this is a very weak defense for that powerful testimony that Cassie gave because it was moving. It was. And it was why it was super moving is because of the detail that she had to go to and things that were horrendous, that are extremely embarrassing, humiliating. Those are humiliating things. Nobody wants to sit there and admit. Who wants to do that? Whether you a freak or not. Whether you a freak or not. Like who wants to admit that? So yeah, please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. Over 600 people, a little bit of 385 likes. Thank you to everybody that has hit that like. And why I say that their defense is weak, because look at the prosecution. The prosecution came out swinging. The first witness, great. Then you got the second witness, Cassie, or testimony, great. First testimony was a great testimony. The second testimony, Cassie, was a great testimony. Now that the cross-examination is coming as a defense, it's a weak defense. Now, I know they still got time. I know. But I'm saying coming out, you come out swinging. They didn't, in my opinion, they didn't. Cassie admitted the drug use. She admitted all of these things. So I really don't understand. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's over my head. But yeah, so let's keep going. So it says later that year, however, she also sent Combs messages that she was frustrated with the state of their relationship and needed something more from him than SCX. She said countless of times she was in love with him. Countless of times. What does this prove? What does this prove? And this is DV. When someone is going through DV, you would honestly have to go through it in order to understand it. So that's not a good point to try to push either. That's not a strong narrative. It's really not. It's really not. The only really strong point that I feel like the defense technically had was stating that Cassie, the 2018 dinner. The 2018 dinner. Now, I do think that kind of puts Cassie in a pickle, because I do think that Cassie may not be telling the full truth about why she met with him. I think there was more to the meeting. I don't think the meeting was just them going out and grabbing some dinner. There was a strong point. There was, because they had parted. Like, she was gone. Like, she had finally, like, pretty much escaped him, if you will. And then all of a sudden, because I thought it was the passing of Kim Porter that made Cassie be like, okay, well, I'm just going to meet with him, because they were photographed together after Kim Porter had passed, like, or the day, I think it was the day of the passing of Kim Porter, and the day of or week of, something like that. And y'all saying those tapes. I don't know. I think there was a reason of them meeting, and I don't know if it's Kim now, because of how Cassie, she said that she was jealous of her. So when you're jealous of a person, you usually don't have a good relationship with them. When you're jealous of them, it's always, a lot of that going on. So, and then Kim Porter's friend has to let the things to say about Cassie and Kim Porter's relationship. Not to say that she's lying. She said that Diddy made Kim put Cassie's used menstrual cycle pawn in her mouth? Wasn't Isn't that what Kim Porter's friend said? That's what she said, right? She said it was, it was like, yeah. Diddy made Kim Porter put Cassie's used women's feminine product in her mouth. Like suck on it or something like that. So I mean, who knows? There could definitely be truth to that. Cassie said she admitted that she treated people like trash. She admitted, hold on, oops, hold on. She said Diddy taught her. Let me pull this up real quick. So they asked her in court. They said, "Is your lawsuit against Sean still pending?" Cassie said, "No." "What is the status of your lawsuit with Sean?" "I agreed to settle 24 hours. Ooh. I agreed to settle 24 hours after." Do you have, wait, sorry, how much did the lawsuit settle for? 20 million, Cassie responded. "Do you have any other pending lawsuits against Sean?" Cassie says, "No, I do not." She says, "I do not." Question: Do you have any other pending lawsuits against anyone else relating to your relationship with Sean? She says, "I do not." "Without telling me about any discussion with your lawyers, what are you testifying at? Why are you testifying at this trial?" Cassie says, "I can't carry this anymore. I can't carry the shame." The quote, the way I was guided to treat people like they were disposable. Okay. So he basically taught her how to treat people like trash. So if he taught her to treat people like trash and he wanted to make Kim jealous, he would use Cassie. If he wanted to make Cassie jealous, he would use Kim. I think it's all about one of the reasons why he would not let. Shout out to you, Peggy. Thank you so much for the super sticker, sweetheart. I think one of the reasons why he wouldn't let Cassie be involved with the children, besides it probably being at Kim Porter and other mothers' request, that because y'all know how women are. A lot of women is like that, and I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's like I don't care about you having our kids, but I don't want no shit around my kids. Don't have none of your little hoes around my children. No temporary people around my children. Now you can introduce my children to your about to be fiance, about to be your wife. That's something we can talk about. But that's how most women are. Not it comes to the point where you kind of have to respect a wife, like when they get married. Like you don't have to fully respect them, but at the same time, it's like you do have to respect the fact that they are married. So with them being married, everything is half and half. So they're together. This is permanent. So the kids kind of got to get used to this person and being around them because they're not going anywhere. So it's trying to find a happy medium, usually. But most of that. So I can see Kim Porter, and the other mothers being like, "Yeah, we don't want none of these, little thoughts, that should be running around with, around our children." And I think that, like I said, if that's was Kim's rule to where she didn't want nobody, no women or men or random people around her children, that's okay. I don't see anything. You're supposed to protect your kids, and that's all she would have been doing. Starts off but 10 years. I mean, this is how you know that he was pinning them against each other, right? Because he had no intention of getting married at all. If he was ever going to get married, he would have got married to Kim. He didn't marry Kim, so marriage is off the table completely. I think that makes a woman kind of want marriage to have a certain respect. Because I think a lot of people in Diddy's life kind of treated Kim like the wife, even when they weren't together. Even when he had a whole nother female, like even when he was a Jennifer Lopez and, on and so forth, the Cassies and other women. I think his peers and the people around him still treat Kim like the wife. Like, yeah, we've been rocking with her for years. We've known her for years. We go to the parties, the Diddies and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. We always saw her. She was always hospitable. I'm sure she was cool to all the wives, like, the Beyoncés and people like that. The Kimoras and, all of that. Like, she was definitely stamped, by the community and the celebrity world, the hip hop world, as right B status, the queen bee. So when you bring another girl around, that respect level is going to be dropped to where people aren't necessarily going to give you a fair chance, to get to know you, all of that because they already have preconceived notions. They already picked a team, their team Kim, so like, hey girl, but excuse me, but because I'm team Kim, like, and we ain't got time for these reindeer games, he'd be coming here playing. And because it even affected when Jennifer Lopez was dating Diddy. Nobody really respected her because it was too close with the whole Kim thing. And everybody at Bad Boy and everywhere else, they loved Kim. Kim was that girl. She really was. She was a bright light. Everybody liked her. So J Ho trying to come in on Kim Porter's heels, wasn't nobody feeling that. Like, all of the people that were loyal to Kim stayed loyal to her. They did, the Mary J. Blige's and the Lil Kims and all of that. Yeah, we team Kim. Like, yeah, we with Kim. We don't know you. We don't know you. Who are you? Like type of situation. So I think that would make Cassie want to get married even more. To have a different status, to be like, I'm not just the girlfriend, like I'm not just one of these hoes, that he with, like we are together. Like this is my man and I'm his woman, and she probably wanted to be respected as such. But I feel like Kim still had the queen bee status. She still had the status. Everybody like, yeah, we with Kim. Like Kim is the one to look to. Look at her funeral. There were so many celebrities, star-studded. Star-studded. They wasn't there for Diddy. They were there for Kim. They were there for her. A lot of those people that came to Kim Porter funeral don't even with Diddy. Keeping it frank, we're gonna keep it real. A lot of the people that showed up, men and women, that showed up don't even with him at all. But they loved Kim. They really liked her. She was a bright light. So yeah, so I mean look at all the people that showed up. So it shows you, her status, her stature. Biggie was alive, I feel like Biggie would have been there. If Tupac was alive, hell, he probably would have been there. They even he liked Kim. Like they all liked her. Nobody, not too many people that was gonna say I didn't like Kim Porter. But there's plenty of people that said that they didn't like Cassie. Plenty. And y'all know I love Cassie down. It's my girl. But there's plenty of people, plenty of industry insiders that went out to say that Cassie was a royal bitch. That she was. That she she could be sweet, but at the same time, she was the devil, like the baby devil, and I think that that's what she's apologizing for and why she wanted to get a lot of the stuff out of her chest, get it off of her chest because I think a lot of it was coercion. you know if he's telling her to treat people a certain way, then that's how how, okay, like an assistant comes in the room and they do something wrong and it's in Cassie's nature, like when she first got with him, they mess up, she's like, oh, don't worry about it, like it's no big deal, and then Diddy is the type to change that energy, like, yeah, no, don't tell him it ain't no big deal. It is a big deal. Now you get fired, da 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 da. And then he'll tell him, now that's how you treat people. They fuck up your order, you boot their ass. They messed this up. I feel like that's what was going on. I feel like this is what she's explaining. He taught me how to treat people like nothing. He taught me how to treat people like trash, is what he taught me, to treat people as if they are disposable. That everybody's replaced. You don't have to love nobody. You don't have to care about nobody. You don't have to respect none of these people. They are peons. I feel like that's what she's saying. And I think that a lot of people got the brunt of that. I do. I think a lot of people got evil Cassie, but it was being pushed. This, I don't think it was who she was, but it was who she was becoming because that's what her man was telling her to do. These are my staff, these are my employees. What I say go, and you my girl. So what you say go too. But don't be in here treating them kind because he doesn't. So if he hard on everybody, if everybody always walking around on eggshells and scared to burp or cough, scared to get sick so that they ain't calling in and stuff like that. And if they're petrified, basically, to do a lot of things, why wouldn't Cassie be too? Why wouldn't she be scared? Look at what he was doing to her. So yeah, I just feel like there may have been a lot of bad blood between her and Kim Porter, like starting off. Now, I don't know how it ended. I'm assume an assumption is that I think they got on better terms before Kim's passing. But I don't think that, I think that there were fights. Maybe a lot of them verbal. I don't know about anything physical, but I do think that there was a lot of verbal arguments between Cassie and um, Kim Porter because he had them literally around each other. Not like J Lo. J Lo, he kind of kept her to himself to where she didn't have to worry about or really deal with any other women. But he did still have that situation going on with Kim Porter. He would just do it elsewhere, like go to her, the place that he bought for her, stuff like that. But see, he's low vibrational. Diddy's low vibrational, so he functions with a lot of tension and chaos. Like he does well in chaos because that's what he likes. He doesn't like things being calm and being able to be regulated. So he don't like all of that. He wants a bunch of drama and people fighting over him, and are arguing and low because he's low. Like he feel bad about something, or he'll feel bad about himself, and then Cassie sitting there smiling, just trying to coexist, and fix your face. You acting like a spoiled brat right now. All of that, and like she said, I would be doing nothing wrong. Like I would just be there. That's how a lot of abusive men are. Most women in abusive relationships, they don't have to do anything to get that energy, to be pounded on, or hurt or harmed, or yelled at, or verbally abused. They don't have to do much. Them breathing is enough. Them breathing is enough. And they can do everything in their power to avoid it. Make sure his bathwater's run when he gets home. Make sure food is prepared and ready. Make sure the house is clean. That if there's kids, that the kids are settled, and rested somewhere. They could do everything right. Everything right. And he will come in and find a reason to put his hands on her. He will find a reason. The bathwater not hot enough. Who was in this tub before me? You had it was a dude here. I smell cologne and I don't wear that. Like he will find a reason to attack you. So a person is always feeling like they're tiptoeing around. 'Cause they don't want to wake the person. Like at night, you're going to get something, you don't want to wake somebody up. So you try to be real quiet, open the refrigerator quiet. So it's like that, but that's a person's life. Like that's your life is like you're always anxious. Because you never know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, or why. So you're kind of just in there waiting and anticipating, but hoping at the same time that it don't happen. That living on edge, that's hard. That's a hard life to live because you never know when you're doing something wrong. You never know. They'll find a reason. Take you out to eat. You think he's being nice. You get it to the car while you was looking at the dude at the table across from us the whole time. He could have bought your food, and just will find a reason. Or why you had to talk to the waiter. Why when a waitress had brought the thing, why you had to, like, will find a reason. Find a reason. Okay? You're never right. You're never doing anything correctly. Everything is always wrong when you're with that type of person. So that's what she was with. The videotape proves that. So this is why I feel that the defense was weak. It's a weak defense. They should have came out kicking and screaming. You know, they didn't. They didn't. So this is not looking good. Like this, right? Why did you want to stay there? Stop. Correct. Like it don't take much. It really don't. You told me it wasn't gonna rain, and it's raining. I asked you this morning, and you anything, anything. They'll use the kids, all of that. Why does school keep calling? Why did this, that, anything? Just because that's who they are. They hate themselves. They have so much hatred on the inside that they want to take it out on you. You are the punching bag, literal. Instead of going to a gym and getting that aggression and anger out, they rather take it out on you because to them, it makes them feel better to see someone else in pain. That is where it derives, in my opinion. It's like they like to see someone else hurting. They feel like it's like they're projecting their pain onto the other person, but they still are hurt. They still are hurting. That's why it's a repetitive cycle. This is why they need therapy. This is why they need to go talk to somebody so they can figure out why they feel how on the inside. Why are you so angry? Why do you hate this woman or just women in general? Like, why? It's your mom. How was your relationship with your mom? Your grandmother, your auntie, your first girlfriend? Like, did you ever have a crush that shut you down or humiliated you? Like, this derives from somewhere. You just got to figure it out. Because then when you figure out where it comes from, you can it's easier for you not to return. And Diddy got all of this money and never took the time to pay for a therapist to figure out what the was wrong with him, to figure out why he feels this way. Not even his. I don't even feel like maybe he do need therapy for sex, because and figure out why he likes what he likes as well. But overall, like if you're putting your hands on women like you're doing and whatnot, where's this deriving from? Because there's many women that have come forth and said he's put his hands on them. you know so where does this anger come from? Where? Because I'm looking at Mammy Combs. That's who I'm looking at. Correct. He was an altar boy, yeah, but his mother was also a prostitute that married her pimp. Uh-huh. And his father was very abusive to his mother, and he would see it, and he would see what he was doing to his mom. So that's why I said I'm looking at his mom, because a lot of men become abusers based off of what they see. If they see a man and that's how and then that's the man in their life, the one that's raising them, and this is how he handles his woman, especially if it's his mom, if you can watch that happen to your own mom, no woman will ever matter. No woman will ever matter. Like, no woman will ever matter. No woman. That's what prevents a lot of men from hitting women because of the relationship that they have with their mother. So if you have a really good relationship with your mom, like your mom holds you accountable, all of that, your mom calls you out, she's not afraid of you, that's what's going to make you respect women. If you run all over your mom and you talk to your mom any type of way and whatnot, and she barely present and stuff like that, you calling her by her first name instead of calling her mom, all of that, it's a high probability that you're not going to treat women the greatest. You're not. Because it starts with the mother. Same thing with fathers. Why when women become really disrespectful towards men or just or hateful towards them is usually the ones that didn't have a father present. They usually didn't have a strong male role model to love them unconditionally, like call them out, reprimand them, discipline them. All of that. All of that is needed. It's necessary because then you know how far to go. If your dad raises his voice at you and you're a female, and you kind of sit up straight. It's kind of like, ooh, it's dad because you don't want him like on you. Then that trait will carry with you when you get in a relationship with a man. He start raising his voice. That's a red flag right away. Like, ooh, my dad started raising his voice. You know what? So that your mind's gonna go back. To situations like that. And you knew to steer clear of your dad basically when he would do that. So you need to steer clear of this man too. It don't mean engage him. Like it don't mean that. Would you engage your father if your father was upset yelling at you? No, right? You kind of just let him talk and just wait until he was done, until you felt like it was safe to walk away or go to your room, and whatnot. So it's the same thing here. Don't engage. Remove yourself, as soon as you can, or hit a person out, and when they're done talking, remove yourself. Don't combat this in any way, but if a man wasn't around to teach a young lady those things, how is she supposed to know them? You know? So I feel like Diddy is still a super narcissist and he'll never take accountability for what he's done. Look at his mother. She knew what he was doing to Cassie. She knew. She came forward with a statement that said that these things weren't true when Cassie filed the lawsuit against Diddy. Then the hotel tape comes out, and the mother still defends him, still says that they've had their ups and downs. No, he done beat her up and down. Hallways, elevators, all of that. At restaurants, and dinners in front of people, all of that. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So instead of coming forward and saying what should be said, that as a mother, I did not raise him to do any of these things to be how I didn't, I don't know that person. I've never seen that person. That's not my son. Now, don't get me wrong. That's my son. Not my son. That's my son. But that person in the tape is not my son. I didn't raise that person. I don't know who the that is. Okay? I would have you. I'm glad I see it because if you would have told me, I wouldn't have believed you because I didn't raise this type of individual. I didn't even know this was in him. He ought to be ashamed of himself. As his mother, I am ashamed that my son would treat a woman like that. That he would do that to a woman when he loves me so much, when he got so much respect for me. Crazy work. For her to still defend him. Trash. So there's levels to Diddy's issues and the issues that he has, and he needs to go work those out. You're a billionaire, right? Or money ain't a problem when it comes to you. Money ain't a thing. Just throw it in the bag. Well, throw some therapy in that bag. Correct. Instead of buying dildos, go buy a lawyer. I mean, a lawyer, a therapist. Yeah, like that because that's crazy. Like what we saw in that tape. Because I put it to you like this: it's because I would love if I could ask him any question about Cassie. I would only have one question. One question. How would you feel if that was Delilah or Chance or Baby Love in that hallway? In that hallway, when you did what you did to Cassie, would it be okay for another man to do that to one of your daughters? Imagine Cassie just put one of your daughter's face on her and you doing what you're doing. Would you want you to go to jail? Would you not want yourself to go to would you not want that person to be incarcerated? Or at least be able to handle with street justice? Would you not want any of those things? Would you want Chance in court talking about it was so much urine from multiple men that she was choking on it? Because Cassie has a father. She does. Cassie has a mother. She does. They both alive. Cassie has 2.5 children. Thank God they're as little as they are, and this is happening now. So when they get older, this a lot of this stuff will be kind of like buried. But the internet is forever. But still, I mean, hers, and if she has a son or another daughter, they may hear this one day. And this is all stuff that you took their mother through, somebody that they love and adore. Like every woman is a daughter, every man is a son. So what makes your daughter so special that they get to be pristine and go off to college and live like at this age? But you had Cassie at 19, who was a grown ass man with a 19-year-old girl, young and impressionable, new. Everything's new to her. You basically finished raising her because they're not grown yet. A 19-year-old is not grown. That's why you got her at that age. Correct. Because a grown woman wouldn't go for that. Mm-mm. No, at least not how you're doing it. A grown woman, they don't have time for that. A 30-year-old, no. A 35-year-old, no. They don't have the time. A 40-year-old woman, a 45-year-old, try it. You know better. You know better. You they see right through it immediately. It will take no time for them to be like, boy, get out of my face. Like no time at all. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to trick them. But you could trick a 19-year-old. It's easy to convince a 19-year-old because everything's new. Everything new. So you don't really know what you want out of life. You don't know which way you're trying to go in life. She just had a dream. That's all she had. She had a dream. That's it. And at 19 years old, because she looked at him as a father figure, meaning you were old enough to be her dad, damn near. You're old enough to be her father. So you're old enough to be her dad. Hmm. Very true. Very true. Hmm. But I feel like if an older man tried to date one of his daughters, it would be an issue. Oh yeah, it'd be a problem. Why can't a 30 something year old, 40 something year old date Chance? Why can't a 33-year-old or 34-year-old right now, 35-year-old date Delilah? What's wrong with that? You did it. Yeah, you did it. Why can't they? Why can't they have them all up in, sex clubs and all that stuff? Why not? It's called karma. And sometimes it comes back to our kids. Sometimes we don't even get the karma. Sometimes it go to our kids because they are product of us, and what they go through, we go through. So, yeah, you did a whole lot of cheating, and then all of a sudden your daughter called you heartbroken because she was cheated on. It'd be your karma. Hey, but it hit her. Coco, Sean, would you allow your babies to date an older person? Yes, I would allow them, but it can't be like under the age of 25. After the age of 25, I don't care how old the person is. I really don't care. If my 25-year-old daughter want to date a 45-year-old man, so what? Like, I really don't care. At the point, it's like you're 25 years old. You're heading to 30. You experienced enough. You've been out there. If you want to date an older man, you go right ahead. And women like to date older men. I get it. It takes men longer to mature. So sometimes they tired of all of that F boy stuff or fixing a young man up for another woman. Sometimes that gets frustrating. I get it. So it's a higher probability that women, since they do mature faster, they're more responsible, they're quicker, all of that, like they just kind of just get it. Some of them a little behind, but overall, women are more mature. So a lot of times, in order for them to date somebody that's on their wavelength, like to find a man that got a car, a place, and a job, the trifecta is usually older. Usually, you know, a lot of the guys, starting off young and whatnot, they're still doing a lot of struggling, living with mom still, or, roommate situation with a job but no car, or, you know, it'd be a lot going on. So, and a lot of females, they have their shit together early, early. It'd be 16-year-old girls out here. They got their own place, car, work, two jobs, all that, no kids. I mean, they mature faster. They do. There'd be a lot of young ladies that be having their together. You understand me? Moving into houses, getting house loans and stuff at 20, 21 years old. So right, owning businesses. The girls be on it. They do. So, and a lot of times they want to be with somebody that meets them where they are, instead of lacking. They want them to be like, I want somebody that got their own. I don't want to take care of nobody. And I also don't want to build up a dude just for it not to work out. And now I done helped him with everything, help him through school, car, crib, job, all of that. And now he with the next. Now I don't waste the 3, 4 years, 5, 6 years for nothing. When I could have been with somebody that was on my wavelength already, instead of dealing with a builder nigga. So yeah, I would. But after the age 25, I really don't care. Like, I mean, it just is what it is. But yeah, I would not want my 19-year-old dating anybody over the age 25. Like, I would not want that. And I think damn that 25, that 19-year-old kind of too old. But I mean, it's what it is. But I know, guys, I mean, girls usually like older guys. Like, it's rare that a girl likes a guy her own age. That's just how I feel. In high school, The freshmen always was obsessed with either the seniors, the sophomores, or the juniors. You know who the freshman wasn't obsessed with? Freshmen. Other freshmen. Like they didn't care about them. They didn't matter. It's like, not girl, please. Like, girl, ooh, Davon go to this school. Girl, he in another grade. Girl, I'm about to try to get him. Girl, I don't care. I'm 14, so what, bitch? I'm about to be 15. Girl, I don't care. You know, so I mean, that's how it always was. They were always trying to date the older guys. Like, they never wanted to date the freshmen. Sophomores barely even got any play from freshmen. But the juniors and the seniors, and a lot of them is because they wanted to go to prom. And a lot of, honestly, keeping it real, juniors or in some high schools, freshmen and sophomores weren't invited to the prom. You have to be a junior or a senior, and they still do that with a lot of schools nowadays too. And it's also to keep the volume down of the prom instead of having the whole 500 students at the prom. So they did it to make it so that But yeah, so even now, my daughter already likes the older boys. Like, she's 16, about to be 17, and like 19-year-olds, and stuff like that, 18, 19-year-olds. So it's what it is. So yeah. So I would allow them. I mean, I wouldn't try to like get in the way of it unless it was like, my 18-year-old daughter walking in the house with a 30-year-old. I'm gonna have a problem with that. My 18-year-old daughter walking in the house with a 35-year-old, we have a problem. I don't care. I don't care if he's artsy, sportsy. I don't. I'm about to beat his. Get out of my house. Get out of my house. Get out of my house. Like, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be an issue, you know. But if my 25-year-old came in, it's like, Dad, I'm dating this guy. He's 50. Okay, whatever. I mean, he's 25. I mean, you about to be on your way to 30. Hey, what can I tell you? I mean, I can't tell you much as 25. I mean, you like grown at 25. You should be. So yeah, and then you headed to 30, and go ahead. You getting older. You ain't getting young. Nobody gets older. There's no such thing. I mean, younger. There's no such thing as getting younger, but everybody gets older. So yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't make like a big deal of it, and I wouldn't want to like push my kid away. But yeah, between the ages of 18 and 25, I'm gonna need you to stick with people around your age bracket. That's how I'm feeling. You know, moving right along. So let's finish these messages. Okay. Estavos also noted, which is one of his attorneys, one of the 8 attorneys that he has, a July 13th text message exchange where Cassie wrote to Combs, "Wish we could have FO'd before you left," using the initials of freak off. Still don't see what that proves. In a 2017 text message, Cassie told Combs, "I love our FOs when we both wanted." Why would the prosecution have them read that? I mean, defense. Defense. The text message said, "I love our FOs when we both want it." Would that not be her implying that there's times where she doesn't want it? Because that's what I'm getting from it. So that means that there's times where she doesn't want to do it, right? Isn't that what she's saying, defense? Because why would you have her read that out? I'm like, that was stupid. Weird. Are y'all okay? Estavo, are you okay? Girl. On the stand Thursday, Cassie explained, "I would say loving FOs were just words at that point," which agreed. It's your job. It's your job. When I had my sugar daddies back in the day, yes, 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 correct, correct. I had sugar daddies, and it was sometimes so I didn't know where my next one was gonna come from. It sure was. I had to work hard, okay, to keep them sugar daddies. But you had to say certain things, girl. We did. We had to, we have a job as a sugar baby. We have a job, Reach, and we have to keep our sugar daddy happy. Otherwise, he's not gonna like buy stuff and stuff. Like, who gonna pay my bills? Because I don't want to. So I'm like, who's gonna pay them? Like, if he doesn't pay them. So I have to say things that there were some things that I had to say that I didn't want to say, but I said it because I knew that he was into it. I wasn't into it, but he was into it, and you know that I wasn't into it because I didn't say it to nobody but his ass. Because if I was into it, then I would have been saying this to other people. I was not. Okay. So I had to do what I had to do, period. I had to do what I had to do. It was some days, I had to say something. It was gross. It was. It was nasty. It was nasty. Okay? But my bills was paid. That's just what that was. Now, did I want to do that shit? No. Absolutely not. I don't want to say what like a lot of those things I didn't want to say. Some of those things I wouldn't say. And my rules are always no race play. I do not play that shit. I will beat your old ass. Dude, look, okay, you can play with me if you want to. How you gonna explain this broken arm and two black eyes and broken ankle to your wife when you get home? I don't know. Hmm. Correct, correct. All of my Johns were white. All of my sugar daddies were white. Correct. I've never had a black sugar daddy. I'm not doing that to my people. We done been through enough. We done been through enough. Here, Flip. We done been through enough. Correct. Correct. So when my black man, it was strictly business. It was strictly sexual. Strictly, he just fine as hell and it's going down. That's where it was for free, Lord. It was for free. Correct. Black Lives Matter. So it was for the free. Okay, it was because he was fine, Lord. It's like, ooh, who the fuck is this? I'm like, okay, I get it. Yes. So it was for the free. Correct. So I gave back to my people, to the black community. Correct. 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 Y'all was welcome. Only white men are breaking their pockets. Absolutely. Yes. White men have paid my bills. They have paid off cars. They absolutely have. Correct. Sure did. Sure did. Sure did. I don't know about you, girl, but so yeah, I told her sugar daddy. So I know where she's coming from. Like as a sugar baby Cassie, I know what you're going through, girl. I know what you're going through. Like because I was a sugar baby too, girl, and sometimes prostitution ain't easy, but somebody gotta do it. So it's just, I mean, it is what it is. Yes, being a thought ain't easy. Yes, but somebody gotta do it, bitch. So I get it. Ooh, Cassie, I get it, girl. From thought to thought, well, X thought to X thought because we both married. We's the married. Nah, girl. Ooh, 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 we fake. Ooh, 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 girl, we fake. Girl, ooh, hold my mule. Ooh, 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 yes, ooh, yes, Lord. Yes. Ooh. So yeah, ooh, hold it, ooh, I can, ooh, ooh. Yeah, we saved. Yeah, we over our mouth and over our coochie, girl. Ooh, girl, ooh, 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 girl, you can get it no more. Ooh, y'all can't get it no more. Oh my God, y'all can get it. It's over because we love the Lord. Ooh, we love the Lord. Ooh, we love the Lord. Ooh, ooh. So yes, those days is over. Shanti just me and the whole yes, and I loved it. That's why I can completely understand where Cassie's coming from. I was a son. I sure was, and I'm proud of it. Look at me today. Yeah, put it right there. Yeah. Oh my God, the Lord, He saved me. Yeah, yeah, yes, but oh, yeah, but yes, hell. Bitch, I was so slut. Bitch, I was a hoe. Bitch, I was a hoe, like for shower, and I liked it. Girl, I liked it. Girl, I liked it. Oh. Did you do any filming? And if it's the camera thing hitting, it's gonna leave with me when I zoom. Hmm. Correct. Correct. Now, have I filmed like yes, like of course, like I look amazing. So of course I film, but it's just like in my vault, like just for me. Like it's like never gonna like go out there, and when I know if it does, it's a felony. If it does, it's a felony, because I wish my nigga would, So I mean, if he try it, motherfucker, try it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he hear me, motherfucker, try it. Yes, it's a felony. So yeah, I'm not, but yes, crap. Now, yes, I'm all for it. But yes, I'm ready for my close up, Mr. Jamil. So yes, but back then, no. Like I wasn't into anything like that. Not at all. Because if it's the camera thing hitting, it's gonna leave with me when I do. Then I bet I can just blink on you. Yeah, because if you're around y'all about to brag about this super boo, I'm gonna hunt your ass down. So yeah, that's how I feel about cameras. I was always like that, like ooh, is that a light? Oh, ooh, what's that? I just came here to dance for y'all. That is it. So yeah, so yeah, I don't do cameras or anything like that. But I was definitely like a bust down. Thought she on a bust down. I was like own it, like I own it. Yeah. Sean, were you a slut? Raise your hand if you're a skank. Harass, harass. So yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, yeah. But now I am so good. Like I am so good. Like I am not a hoe. Like I am not real. I'm reformed. So but yeah, so I get what she means. We had a job to do. My God. We had to make sure the check cleared. So yeah, it's like, oh my God, I totally love that FO. I would, because she know that's what he want to hear. Duh. Not because I'm sure the poor girl was sitting there talking about some. Ooh, I really love that last FO. Woo, woo, woo. Ooh, that last FO. Ooh, I wish we could have did another one. Ooh, yeah, because that's what he was giving. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Mm-mm. She's over there talking like Netta. She had all of them bumps and sores and all that stuff on that poor girl mouth. She's sitting over there. I really like the freak off. I really wish that we could have did another freak off before you left. With bumps like I really wish that we could please cut your goddamn nerve. She over there drinking Pepto. That's not funny. She over there drinking Pepto Bismol, girl. I mean, antibiotic. Po thing. Sitting over there with a super UTI. Done had po thing done had a UTI since 2019. 2009. Finally got rid of it in 2013. Then here you come. Got your damn nerve. Mm. Well, not because they tried it. Because they tried it. So you got your damn nerve. Mm. In the 2017 message, Cassie told Combs, oh, wait, should be right there. And then Cassie explained, okay, it should be right there too. Cassie complained at one point that the jurors weren't hearing the full context of the messages that this was highlighting, saying, there's a lot we skipped over. Correct. Correct. That's all defense. Y'all got y'all damn nerve. Can y'all read what Diddy said? Can y'all flip over that page? What did Diddy say in between that? Imagine. You coming in here with 476 text messages, but you only want to read 3 of them. You only want to read 3 of them. Got your goddamn nerve. I'm like, okay. And this proves what, as Stava? What does this prove, Puerto Rico? I said, what does this prove? Like, oh, you got your nerve. Mm. Yo, you put a piece of the messages out there. Now read them all. Let's do that. Oh, you don't want Diddy to. Oh, okay, I get it. Combs' attorney presented Cassie with sexual text she sent before a 2016 encounter at a Los Angeles hotel where Combs was caught on surveillance, kicking and dragging her in a hallway. Cassie says she wanted to get the encounter over with in order to keep Combs happy and avoid a scene ahead of a movie premiere she was attending days later. Estavo raised instances of Cassie's anger with Combs and her admitted jealousy over attention he gave to other women. Cassie said Combs didn't want her seeing anyone else, but the same rules didn't apply to him. Yeah, just like Kim Porter. He got to see who he wanted to see, but Kim couldn't see nobody. Cassie testified that after a few years with Combs, she longed to be a bigger part of his life, but he wouldn't let her in. The relationship lasted from 2007 to 2018. A cross examination didn't have the combative tone of a stereotypical defense grilling. Estavo spoke gently, and she and Cassie seemed like two friends chatting at times. Again, that's what I said. The defense was really weak. Like it was not a strong defense. I think they should have had like one of the heavy hitters. Like, although she is a good attorney, she has represented other people. Um, Estavo, but I feel like they should have let somebody else from the team like come up there because they needed to like gut punch her. They needed somebody to come up there and virtually, subliminally punch Cassie Baby in the stomach. They needed somebody from that defense team to go up there and put Cassie in labor. That's what they needed. Because that's what I would have done. I would have said, Your Honor, do I have your permission to treat the witness as a hostile? Do I have your permission, Your Honor, to treat the witness in a hostile way? Because I would have got her. That's what I would, because that's the defense job. That's what they're supposed to do. Correct. I would have went up there with my papers like, hey Cassie, lying ass. Hey liar, I mean Cassie. Um, so we're gonna start the line of questioning. Is that your real eyelashes? Like I would have, girl, I would have there. I would have went there. I don't want. I would have attacked her because that's what you do. Yeah, you can't handle the truth. You know that's what should have. That's what that word. She should have been. I don't know. I don't remember. Well, I don't know. I stop yelling at me. That's how she should have been. Because that's what I would. That's what I would have did if I was on Diddy defense team. I was one of his lawyers. Oh yeah, I would have went up there and dove on top of her virtually, verbally. I would have went dove on top of her. I sure would have. Does she testify tomorrow? Yes. Cassie testifies. I don't know if it'll be to tomorrow and on Monday, or if she'll just be done tomorrow. We'll see. I don't think it'll be done tomorrow. I think maybe another day, maybe even two, but possibly she may be finishing up on Monday because again she had a powerful testimony, and the defense it looks like they slow walking it. It looks like Estavo is slow walking it. So, because, girl, that defense today, dry. Very so much dry. Extremely. Got her there. Really, I'm like, okay. But yeah. So, the associate person, oh, no, wait a minute. Ooh, wait a minute. Okay, right here. The 38-year-old Cassie, who is in her third trimester of pregnancy with her third child, was held up well on the witness stand. She cried several times during the previous 2 days of questioning by the prosecution, but for the most part has remained composed and matter of fact as she spoke about the most sensitive subjects. The Associated Press does not typically name people who say they have been SA'd unless they come forward publicly, as Cassie has. As the explicit messages were read, Combs appeared relaxed at the defense table, sitting back with his ashy hands folded and his gay legs crossed. The courtroom was packed with his ugly ass family and his bum ass friends. Journalists and a row of spectators, seats occupied by Cassie's supporters, including her husband. Correct. Alex is still there for now. During the break, Combs stood at the table, huddling with his loser ass attorneys, holding a pack of post-its that post-its, oh, okay, in one ashy hand and a pen in the other. At one point, he turned to the gallery and acknowledged a few reporters who were studying his gay ass demeanor. He said, very gay, "How you doing?" And because that's what it says. It says, "How you doing?" Yeah. So what? Not his gay legs crossed. Kendrick, yes, his gay legs crossed. Like, whatever, whatever. Um, what do we have your name because you're a sweetheart? Oh, shout out to Goddess. Yeah, well, we make the name good. We make the name good, girl. So it says during the break, Combs said we over at the chick. How you doing? He asked. Combs' daughters were not in the courtroom on Thursday. We don't care. Jurors leaned forward in their seats to follow along as the messages were displayed on monitors in front of them in the jury box. One woman shook her head as a particularly explicit messages were shown. A man stared intently at the screen, pressing his thumb to his chin like this. He was like this. Look at, oh, hold on. Who were there? He, he was netting the situation. I don't see what's that say? Does that say dick? Does that say can y'all bring Charles in here and no Charles read to me. He usually reads what's this say? Wait, that say that's that this about sex? This about sex, Charles. This about sex. It's about sex. So and I'm like, girl. So the juror was like this, y'all. Ooh, girl. Ooh. I wish I could have tapped him on his shoulder like, what you think about it? How you gonna vote? He guilty? You don't say he guilty? Okay. This he guilty? This is me. You gonna pop him? You gonna get him? Okay. And I'm a girl. I wish I could have been a juror. I would have loved to have been a juror on this case. Girl. Every time Diddy looked at me, I would have been over in the jury box like this. With a death row shirt on. Death row records. Mm-hmm. With a Mac Ellie shirt on. Every time. With a blazer over it. Open up my blazer. Ho. Ho. Baby. Show nerve. So Gabe. Gabe. So okay. With his thumb curious and quizzical. Some looking at Cassie or jotting notes. They're talking about the jury, y'all. While prosecutors have focused on Combs' desire to see Cassie have an SCX with other men, she testified that she sometimes watched Combs have SCX with other women. Correct. 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 Like Cam Porter. She said Combs described it as part of a swinger's lifestyle, or gay. Estavo asked Cassie directly whether she thought freak offs were related to the lifestyle. In a sexual way, Cassie responded before adding, they're very different. Cassie said Tuesday that Combs was obsessed with a form of voyeurism where he was controlling the whole situation. The freak-offs took place in private, often dark hotels, unlike Combs' very public parties that attracted A-list celebrities. So, again, like I've said time and time again, just because a person went to a Diddy party does not mean that they're a part of a freak-off. Like, people were making it like way too broad. Like of a if you like no, I do think that he's had big parties to where he has like had freak offs and whatnot, but like yachts and out of the country, and stuff like that. Um, a party within a party, type of situation. But I don't think it's like it would be more proof. It would be more pictures. It would be so. It's very secluded, you know. Is how I feel as well. So yeah, I'm like, yeah. So people are like, oh, Jay Z, Beyonce, and all of that. I'm not saying that they were never part of the call, but I'm just saying like if you're basing that off because they attended his parties, no, not at all. Because again, it's too public. The party is too public. I know they like to do things in plain sight, but not that plain and damn sight. Cass is also okay. So testimony for okay, right here. She testified that sometimes she took. Oh yeah. She testified that sometimes she took IV fluids to recover from the encounters and eventually developed an opioid addiction because it made her feel numb afterwards. Cassie's testimony on cross examination was in contrast to previous days when she described the violence and shame that accompanied her hundreds of freak-offs during her relationship with Combs. Cassie testified Wednesday that Combs R-worded her when she broke up with him in 2018 and had locked in a life of abuse by threatening to release videos of her during the freak-offs. She sued Combs in 2023, accusing him of years of physical and sexual abuse. Within hours, the suit was settled for 20 million, a figure Cassie disclosed for the first time Wednesday. But dozens of similar legal claims followed from other women is also touched off of a law enforcement investigation into Combs that has accumulated in the trial's months. Absolutely. So let's get into the Kim Porter piece that was brought up in court. Who do we- Yeah, we were the okay. Because I really don't see why the defense brought that up, the whole Kim Porter part. I'm like, oh, but this was stupid. I'm like, so is this to try to make it seem like she's doing this for like revenge or something? I'm like, because she didn't mention Kim Porter in her lawsuit. Like at all whatsoever. So it's like, is this to try to like have that motive for like, oh, well, she's jealous, jealous ex, bitter, um, because she was jealous of all of the women in his life and his children's mothers, and she's just bitter because she didn't get to become a mother and have like, is this what this is? I'm confused. I'm just gonna pull it up like this. No, we don't want to hear it. I want to read it. Okay. Let's get into court TV. Has it. Yes, right here. So let's get into this part. No ads. Ooh, be quiet, camera. Or should we listen? Maybe we should listen. Let's listen. It's only how long is it? Oh, it looks like it's only like a minute. Yeah, we can listen to it. I guess we can listen to
it. Happening in February, where Sean Diddy Combs' former girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie Ventura, is facing cross-examination today in his sex trafficking trial. This is happening in federal court, so no cameras are allowed. But joining me now is our own Court TV legal correspondent, Kelly, who has been there in New York.
They don't necessarily have like their lineup out of the people who are going to be testifying, but I wouldn't be surprised if Aubrey testifies. I wouldn't be surprised if D Woods testifies. I wouldn't be surprised if Dawn Richard testifies. All of the women that have came forward against Diddy since these allegations have came out about him, I could see all of them. I mean, I think we will be surprised um, by the people. But I do think that anyone that has a lawsuit against Diddy, if it is I think a structured lawsuit that could win, a credible lawsuit, I think that the prosecution is going to use that to their benefit. So Don Richard and people like that, I could definitely see that. People that won't be, Justin Bieber, cut it. I'm so sick of people hearing people say Justin's gonna testify. He's still following him on IG. Are you kidding me?
Covering this trial, please tell us what is the latest happening there today?
Because most of the people that are testifying aren't being subpoenaed. Cassie, I don't believe was subpoenaed. She volunteered to testify. I think the same thing with Dawn, because I'm sure Dawn is testifying. But if she is, I'm sure she volunteered to. I'm sure they reached out to her and she said yes. Shout out to Tira. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you, Tyra. I said Tira. Tyra, thank you so much for the super sticker, sweetheart. Yeah, I think that anybody that has a credible story against him, something that they can prove or have enough to give them credibility on the stand, I think the prosecution will utilize. So, yeah.
Good afternoon to you, Judge Ashley. Something interesting that has been taking place inside the courthouse here is defense counsel started to read a lot of the communications that were taking place between Combs and Cassie Ventura, because when Cassie was being asked to read these exchanges, they were feeling that it was taking a little long.
I don't know who this is reading the news right now, but I hate her. I don't know why. It's something about her face. I don't know. I don't know who you are, man, but I hate you.
And the judge has made it very clear that defense counsel needs to keep on going because he is hopeful that this witness can be off the stand at the latest on Friday. We'll have to see if that's going to happen. But another thing that was really interesting in one of the exchanges between the two of them, and I'm talking about defense counsel as well as Cassie Ventura, the government star witness who has been on the stand, is Cassie was asked to take a look at some of the communications that were taking place between her and Sean Combs. And at one point, Cassie kind of stopped and she said to the judge, is it even important what I feel is relevant at this time? Because the defense counsel was asking her certain questions, and Cassie obviously was feeling like they weren't giving complete context as to exactly what was taking place.
Correct, because when they ask you a question, you have to answer it. But it's hard to do if you are pushing a narrative, which happens in court time. That's one thing that is like super annoying about the legal system, is that the context has to be, or your answer, the dialogue that you have after has to be about the question asked. So you don't get to skip over it and be like, hey, I do have the answer to that, but this happened first. If you, no. Answer the question. The question is, what did you say on November, blah, 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 2009, in the response to the Diddy or to Sean at the bottom of this piece of paper? Read what you said in the response to him. See, you don't get to, now Diddy could have said all of this crazy stuff in between, all of that, right? But that's not what the question is pertaining to. So you have to stay on subject. You have to stay on topic. You don't get to tell a story and then answer the question. It don't work like that. Because the defense is using this to, of course, they're going to push a narrative because they have a job to do. They have to defend their client. So they're not going to put all the context out there and whatnot so that the jury doesn't know the full story. So the jury has to kind of decide, well, did she really want these free calls? Did she want them the whole time? Because in the message she just read, she was basically begging for it. And there's no context in between. So they kind of just got to just go with that. And that's something that they would either write down or it's definitely going into their evidence. So, of course, Cassie was kind of getting like probably annoyed, I'm sure. Because it's just like, what does this have to do with anything? Like, I'm just like, what about? I've already said that I did participate in some of them. I did, like, voluntarily, willingly, gave my consent, to do so. Even took certain DRUG S's, I admitted all that. Like, what is this pertaining to? Why do I have to answer that? Like, what?
During these text message communications, but then defense counsel went to try to explain to her why she felt they were relevant. And this is when she rapid fire a series of questions to Cassie Ventura saying, you testified that you were insanely jealous. Yes. You reacted when you saw pictures of him on social media with other girls. Yes. You were upset because you thought that he was in and you were in a monogamous relationship. Yes. So that was such an interesting dynamic to watch between defense counsel as well as Cassie Ventura while on the stand. We do want some full screens now for you of what we've been saying, what testimony has been like inside the courtroom. She felt, Cassie did, that some jealousy, as I was mentioning. This is over Combs' former partner, Kim Porter. She confirmed that it would upset her when Combs would spend holidays with his family and Porter. Combs and Porter had 3 children together.
Well, if you're in a relationship with somebody, why wouldn't you feel that way? She was in a relationship with him. Who don't get jealous in relationships? I'll be cussing my nigga out for speaking to the clerk in the gas station. Clean out. Clean out when he get in the car. I'll be in the car like this, waiting for him to get back in. Cuss him clean out. Clean out. And won't apologize. For what? I meant what the I said. Yeah, I'm a little piece of toxic. Oh well. A little piece. A little piece. Correct. Correct. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm playing on that shit. Go in there and pay for that show ass up out the stove. What y'all got to talk about? Now I said he was ugly. I said he was soft. And he was Charles. Gross. Can you bring your ugly ass up the stove, please? I gotta pee. And I don't want to do it in there. Yeah, I ain't mad at get a number. Tell them put the number phone. Hey, bring your glass down here. I gotta pee. And I'm not doing it here. So yeah, that's just what that word. But my new girl, he fine. So I ain't got time for that. Where is it? So it's over. This how it was gonna end. If I would have only knew that we was about to go to the gas station to break up, like who would have thought that? I really just thought we was about to run here, get some ice and stuff, and have a good day. But now we ain't even together. That's crazy. Who would have thought? At 12:10, everything was good. It's 12:15, and my whole life done changed. So I mean, that's just what it is. Like people get jealous in relationships. Like that means you want the person. When you get jealous, you want the person. When if you with somebody and you're not jealous of anything that they do, they could be out for a long time. That's when you know it's over. That's when you know it's done. That when you don't even care, like it's just like you just come in when you want to, and you don't ask no questions, nothing. You don't ask no questions. You just get right up in the bed. You say good morning and everything. Hey, good morning. Hey, moo. Excuse me. So that's just what that word. That's when you know it's like done. You over it. Okay. But when you just the thought of who you with being with somebody else and you just like want to go in there and just hit them in the face just for even just for your thoughts, you just want to go in there and pinch them and be like, it's a shame how you just cheated on me in my mind. That is a shame. And then you gonna kiss that bitch in the mouth? Like that's what we do? That's what we doing? So it's now that's toxic. And I done that too. I did have a dream. It was too vivid. It was too vivid. So vivid dreams means something. It's this fish. It's basically like dream by fish. So it meant something. It was too vivid. I said no because I want to. I'm ready to get in the car. Okay, it's too vivid. Okay, that's how Diddy is. That's how he was. Let's not talk about insanely jealous. Did she blow up anybody's car? Let me get something to drink. Girl, imagine the defense trying to paint Cassie as extremely jealous and overly jealous when this nigga blew up a car and they wasn't together. Ew. Ew. Let's not talk about jealous. 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 He blew up a car. Prosecution. Y'all gonna handle that? Prosecution. Y'all gonna handle that? Not jealous. Are you kidding me? Let's just talk about jealousy. Let's not do that. Mm. When he on stage talking about some Cassie come home, Cassie forgive me for the dark times, making songs about her, she home married. Ugh. Let's not talk about jealousy. Let's not act like they didn't get Alex blackballed in the Florida and California area where he had to be, where his predominant clients were, predominantly where his clients were, because he took Cassie from Diddy. You know, let's not act like Diddy didn't try to blackball Kid Cudi. Same thing. Try to get all the producers to not work with him. Stuff like let you need to got it. You need to got it. Let's not talk about jealousy. Jealous.
We can also tell you about some other testimony that took place. Defense challenged Ventura's claim that Combs forced her into sex acts and didn't apologize. From a 2009 text when Ventura said she wasn't feeling well after a freak off, Combs wrote, "Damn, you're sick. I'm sorry. If you're not in it, no worries, no stress." So that's a bit of some of the testimony that was taking place inside the courtroom. Also, Kid Cut. Talking about Kid Cudi as well as Michael B. Jordan. Right when we got out of the courtroom just a short time ago, they were bringing up her new relationship with Michael B. Jordan, which took place when Cassie was saying that she felt that their relationship, her and Sean, had been on a break, and she began to date the actor by the name of Michael B. Jordan. Also talking about Kid Cudi. And how did Sean Combs find out about that relationship? Well, she had a burner phone, and during one of the freak-offs, he was taking a look, though, not at her burner phone, another phone, and that's when Sean Combs discovered that she had a relationship with Kid Cudi. And she said it was scary. Things didn't go well after he found out. Defense counsel asked her while she was on the stand, did you feel justified in being unfaithful with Sean Combs when you began that relationship with Kid Cudi, because Sean Combs, was dating other women? She didn't really have a good answer to that. She didn't really say she felt justified, but just said, in my mind, we were on a break. So interesting back and forth between defense counsel and Cassie, Judge Ashley. It's getting a little more intense in there than it was this morning. Things were starting off really, really nicely, a nice back and forth between the two of them this morning. It was getting a little intense in there just before. Thank you so much, Kelly Craft. Always crazy to hear that.
Here's my thing. How can you say that Cassie was even your girlfriend when her main purpose was to do freak offs? She's supposed to be your girlfriend. Why not do freak offs with hoes? I don't understand that. Why not do freak offs with sluts? This is why I think it's so confusing, because She keeps explaining a relationship, and then Diddy's defense explains a relationship too. But the majority of the time that they were together, she was just being enlisted for sexual favors. Where he was spending the majority of his time, holidays, all that stuff. You're supposed to be spending that type of time with your girlfriend. But instead, he was with Kim and the kids all holidays. Like, what made her a girlfriend? Because you her on red carpet? I don't see what, when you constantly got other dudes running up and you're directing it. I don't get that. I don't understand. I'm like, how was Cassie with bottom B? How if Kim Porter was still around? She was jealous of the bottom bitch. Hmm. Kim didn't go nowhere until she passed. So it's like Kim is Queen B, like I explained, like earlier in the live. So it's like, what was Cassie? Like, what actually were you if he was still spending, like, when he wanted to spend quality time, family time, stuff like that? It's with Kim. Cassie said herself that if a freak off didn't happen, that they didn't have SDX. They didn't do nothing. They weren't sexual with each other unless Cassie performed a freak off. Then after the freak off, he would get aroused and then sleep with her while she's explaining another man's peen to him. What it looked like, tastes like, felt like, the size, the girth, all of that. That is what turned him on. Crazy. Why do men do this to us? I think when you get, what do you buy the person, the male woman that has everything? What do you get them, right? So when you have that much money and you done been around the world and you become bored. You do. Correct. And I think that a lot of them, the evil ones, turn people into toys, things, like the Hunger Games, um, stuff like that. Just out of boredom, they get entertainment off of watching people suffer, people hurt, because it's usually how they feel on the inside. Rich people are the most unhappiest people on the planet. There is no one on the planet more unhappy than a rich person. The most unhappiest people in the world. See, the thing about coming up, like whether you are poor or middle class, you have things to aspire to. You have goals, things to work towards. When you have it all, when you have everything and what you don't have is just a phone call away, very unhappy. When you go everywhere, you've been everywhere, you've tried everything, foods, it becomes boring. Life becomes extremely boring because what are you aspiring towards? What's next? What do you do? Like I said, what do you get the person that has everything? Because whatever we get them is usually they have a double somewhere. We buy them shoes, they have thousands of pairs. We buy them a shirt, they have thousands of shirts. So what do you get the person that got everything? You know, why would I buy Diddy a flat screen? I'm sure his bathrooms have them in there. Why? He has all that stuff. You know, you want to get something that's unique. Um, and I think to people like Diddy and Harvey Weinstein's, Epstein's, and Bill Cosby's, the R. Kelly's, the people like that, I feel like they got bored. I think a lot of this derives from boredom, being extremely bored, wealthy, with no one telling you no. Who in Bill Cosby's prime told him no? I think that's why he got off to doing what he was doing to those women, because it was no. It was somebody telling him no. When everybody would tell him yes, when all the women would just fall to his feet. So it's like, why do you feel like you have to quaalude women and stuff like that when women will just sleep with you just because you're you? That's boring. He did that for years when he first came out. Like that. That's boring to him. He wants a challenge, something that makes them feel alive. Old girl from Beetlejuice. What is her name? The one that was stealing just for the thrill. Like she rich in the store stealing just because she wanted the thrill. She wanted to feel something. The adrenaline. She wanted her heart to race. And it's just bored. It's like, what do you give the person that has everything? So I think that that's what it is with Diddy. I think that he got addicted to turning people into toys. I think watching PORN and stuff like that became boring to him. Having, orgies and threesomes and stuff like that, I think it became boring. And Winona Ryder, thank y'all so much. Yes, Winona. I think it just became boring. That's all. They're just bored and rich. Bored and filthy rich, you know. Um, yeah, that's how I feel. Like the purge, you know, that's how I feel. Hollywood is like the purge. It definitely is. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's anything because I don't think all men in Hollywood are doing this. And I also don't think that all of the men that have hung around Diddy and been in his parties and stuff like that, I don't think that they're down with the stuff that he was doing either, because they would have been a part of it. Because they definitely could be. So I don't think all of the men are cool with that and with women being treated like that. And I don't think they cool with it. That's why they stay away from Diddy. I think a lot of you can see the celebrities that have stayed away from him, and especially the males, they stayed away from him for a reason. I do have this video that I'm putting together, surviving Diddy, about a lot of the celebrities that we don't know if he got or not. One of those people is Aaliyah. Diddy had a really big crush on Aaliyah. Hi, Marcella. Love you, Marcella. Um, he had a really big crush on Aaliyah. I mean, who didn't, right? But I do have a video that I'm putting together on that with a few of the females that Diddy was trying to turn into Cassie before Cassie, because Aaliyah was definitely one of those people who he tried to turn and get her. Everybody was after Aaliyah. Okay, Dame Dash, Robert Sylvester Kelly, Jay Z, and Diddy were all after her at the same time. The same time. hmm And he never stopped trying to pursue her, did he? Mm-mm. Even at that award show that they were at, and he danced with Aaliyah on stage. He was still trying to get her. Like he never stopped trying to get Aaliyah. I also think that's why he like wanted Cassie. Not because they like look alike or anything, but I do think that she kind of reminded him, like of like her beauty, kind of reminded him of Aaliyah. Because Cassie's a very beautiful woman, very unique, and beautiful woman. And the same thing with Aaliyah. Aaliyah was a very unique beauty. She was beautiful, but unique, very unique. Nobody looks like her. Like nobody looks like her. So I am putting that video together. Hopefully, I want it to drop tomorrow because we're going to do a live. We're definitely going to cover this, but we're going to cover Netta too. So we will be doing a Netta live. I promised y'all a Falls and Netta live. So we will be doing that in the morning and talking about the show Shoot Your Shot. We'll be talking about that in the morning, and then someone that Leah was 15 around that time, just about 16, 17, around 16, 17. Yeah. So we'll come back live tomorrow. We'll talk about that. I was gonna stay for 2 hours. I did. I'm so proud of me, y'all. I've been wanting to stay live over here longer. But yeah, it's all of you guys. What time with the live in the morning? It'll probably be around like 9 a.m. Central Standard, like around 9 a.m. right after I get my kids to school. Please give an update for Krishan Jr. He's still not talking. He's still not walking, and his mom still won't take accountability for giving him alcohol fetal. That poor baby. I love you guys. I will see y'all in the next live, and until then, bye. Thank you for all the super stickers, all the super chats, cash apps, all the good stuff y'all got sent me to me. I love you guys. And until the next show.